This is a Class B air brake test. I'll be using a semi-truck to perform the test, but it's the same test with a few minor differences. In a Class B truck, there's only one parking brake. When you see me releasing two parking brakes, one for the truck and one for the trailer, you are only releasing one. The first task we must do is secure the truck. Enter the vehicle using 3 points of contact, close the door, and perform a safe start. Put the transmission in first gear, turn the truck off, and place the key in your pocket. Slide the chock blocks next to you, then exit using 3 points of contact. Grab the chock blocks, place them on the steps, and close the door. Now set the chock blocks on the furthest drive axle from you. Re-enter the vehicle using 3 points of contact, close the door, and safely start the truck. Immediately, release both parking brakes and bring the RPMs up to 1500 to build pressure. Once the air tanks are full, say air tanks are full and chock blocks are in place. From this point forward, we will tell the trooper what we are going to do. Then do it, like so. Say, checking governor cut-in at 100 psi. Reduce pressure to 100 psi by stepping on the brake. Bring the RPMs up to 1500 and wait for the needle to start rising. Once it starts moving, say, needle rising, indicating governor cut-in. Say, checking governor cut-out between approximately 120 and 140 psi. Wait for the governor to cut out. Once it does, give the reading. Set both parking brakes. Pulling the yellow knob should release the red one. Double-check it popped. Turn the truck off and switch the key to the on position. This step is crucial so that we can test the truck while the engine is off. Give the air pressure reading. Say, releasing both parking brakes. Initial loss should be approximately 5 to 15 psi. Time for 1 minute, no more than 2 psi loss. Now release both parking brakes and wait for the air to stabilize. Say, initial loss 20 psi, timing now. I'm using 20 psi here as an example. You must state whatever pressure you have lost and remember to be precise. Giving an incorrect reading will result in failure. Notice that we lost more than the prescribed 5 to 15 psi. In that case, tell the trooper that you lost more than 15 psi, but you don't hear a leak, and continue with the test. If you do hear a leak, you must tell the trooper. When practicing the air brake, use a stopwatch. Some students have gone testing with the trooper and say, timing now, but forget to actually time it. After a minute loss, say how much psi it lost, if any, and give reading. Say, apply and hold service brake to floor. Initial psi loss should be approximately 5 to 15 psi. Time for 1 minute, no more than 3 psi loss. Step on brake pedal and give the reading after air stabilizes. Say, initial loss 5 psi, timing now. Again, I'm using 5 psi here as an example. You must state whatever pressure you have lost And remember to be precise. Giving an incorrect reading will result in failure. The manual states that when checking the service brake, you must apply approximately 90 psi of pressure. If the trooper asks how much pressure you are putting on the brake, you must say approximately 90 psi. If your truck is equipped with a brake pressure gauge, you must ensure that you are applying 90 pounds of pressure. After a minute it loss, say how much psi it loss, if any, and give reading. Say, checking low-pressure warning devices. Light and buzzard should come on at or before 55 psi. Light and buzzer on before 55 psi. Say, checking spring brakes activation between 20 and 45 psi. Drop pressure by pumping service brake till both parking brakes pop out. Say, spring brakes activated. Say, checking 85 to 100 within 45 seconds. Turn engine on and bring RPM to 1500. Once you reach 80 psi, stop accelerating. At 85 psi, say timing now. Once it reach 100, stop the timer and tell the trooper how long it took to reach 100 psi. Accelerate to 1500 till governor cut out. Put transmission in first gear, turn engine off, put key in your pocket, exit the vehicle using 3 points of contact, close the door and remove the chuck blocks. Enter the vehicle using 3 points of contact and put on the seat belt. Safe start the engine and put transmission in first gear. Say, checking parking brake. Now, bring clutch up slowly until you feel resistance. Once you feel resistance, push the clutch back down and say, parking brake holding. Say, checking service brakes. Push in red and yellow knobs, release clutch slowly and move the truck to 5 miles per hour. This is important. If you don't reach the 5 miles per hour, you will fail. Use clutch and brake to come to a stop and say, service brake working with no pulling to either side. Put transmission in neutral and set parking brakes. Air brake complete.